Hello everyone, and welcome to Peter Does Games! And we're back in American Truck Simulator. I actually just did an update. The latest update involves the addition of a new truck, which we will eventually get. Let me see if the truck dealers show on here. It's going to be on this one. So I think they said it was called the Lone Star. Excuse me. We have not yet uncovered one of those because again they were just added in the game. Now obviously I'm not going to buy one immediately. I'm going to be driving around in this Peterbilt for a while, but we'll probably pick up one of those at some point because I want to see what it looks like. In any case, now that we are back in the game, let's see if there's anything that will take us from Salina back to Salt Lake City. And we get to Price, Logan, so nothing here. So we got Provo and Ogden. Logan's way up there, so anything Provo and Ogden might work as well. Don't really want to go all the way to Logan. Price I think is over. Price is over here. So I'm thinking we don't really have anything to get us over there. Let me just see how far it is distance-wise. If we went to say, let's see, what have we not taken yet? We have not done Walbert yet. Or actually, since we're going to be driving back, I know we've delivered here, but we have not returned from there, and it's only 168 miles away. So I'm just going to go ahead and drive it. This will give us a little bit of experience for the free driving as well. That's one thing about American Truck Simulator is a lot of the jobs that you're going to be taking are far away, so this doesn't really hurt me to go ahead and do. It's not going to be risking too much extra wear and tear, because sometimes you're going to have to drive this far anyway. And let's see, I want to clear off this part of the map over here, so I'm going to exit out of this side. Change the volume on my earphones here. There we go. This looks like, now that I'm here I realize it doesn't show me the GPS. Oh, it wants me out that side, so that's probably why. It's weird that it doesn't show from where I'm at. Yeah, it finally did. And it also did not show, it did not clear out that little chunk back there, so I'm just going to be OCD, back up a little bit until it shows this chunk in yellow. And yeah, this is completely useless to do in terms of the gameplay. You don't win anything, you don't get an achievement. In Euro Truck Simulator 2 you do get an achievement for clearing 100% of the road, but here you do not. So I'm just doing this because mentally I am unable not to do it if I have the ability to. Maybe I shouldn't be admitting that out loud, but too late. Anyway, on we go, get back to Salt Lake, and then we can take our next steps. I hope everybody is having a very good week so far, or if you're watching this on the weekend, I hope you had a good week. One of the things that I'm planning on doing this weekend is to start Transport Fever 2. I just got that. I'm going to put it on this channel. Haven't played it at all. I did play the original Transport Fever a while ago. Had a lot of fun with it. It was absolutely amazing, and I've seen a few people playing the game on some YouTube videos. It looks like it's going to be a phenomenal game for Transport Fever 2, so I'm really looking forward to that. And I have a feeling it's going to be a lot of fun, so it'll probably be another playlist that I will come up with for another series on this channel. And that said, that means I'm going to need to be juggling some of how I'm going to be doing things moving forward. Now, normally, channels would have an audience and would just ask what people were most interested in. But given that I've just started, less than a month old on this channel, I think barely over a week old for this channel, don't really have any audience to speak of at all yet. So I might just go ahead and make my executive decision. And probably what I'm going to do is maybe just go down to 1 day per week per game. Just kind of cycle through that way. We shall see, because I do want to finish American Truck Simulator for sure. I do want to finish Transport Fever once I start it, and I also really like 7 Billion People, and I also like the game 7 Billion Humans. See what I did there? Huh? But I don't think 7 Billion Humans is going to take too long to complete. And then, of course, I do want to also finish my franchise Hockey Manager, because it is a lot of fun as well. So I'll be working on all that coming up in the future. I guess worst case scenario, and that would actually be a pretty good worst case scenario, but if there's a lot of support for things, then maybe I can do 2 videos a day instead of just 1 video per day. I have to see how that fits in. That's what she said. But you know, between work and sleep, I get a good 2 hours of free time a day, and during that time I can eat my porridge, and I can shine shoes, and I can do whatever I feel like. Oh look, I got $303 extra. However, will I spend it? Anyway, I'm wanting with most of my videos to keep them, you know, between maybe 30 minutes and an hour. I don't really want to have to go more than that. There will be a couple of times that I will, perhaps if I'm in the middle of a long delivery here in American Truck Simulator, and also when if I'm not simulating a game in Franchise Hockey Manager, instead watching it. Those can get quite lengthy as well. And looking ahead, there appears to be something stopped in the middle of the road. Yeah, we'll just avoid this accident really quick. And you know, normally in real life I would have taken that slowly, been a good driver, and this is a video game, so who cares? Anyway, as I was saying before the weird accident jumped out in front, I got, you know, some ideas of the length of videos that I want to do, and also I realized, you know, I have to make sure that we keep this COPPA compliant, and make sure that kids don't want to watch anything that I'm doing. So I'm going to take a moment to pontificate about recent YouTube changes. If you're watching this relatively soon after I upload it, then you'll know that this week YouTube instituted a new harassment policy wherein they gave guidelines for when traffic is going way too slow ahead of you. This is annoying. Just over here. Anyway, yeah, so the new YouTube harassment policy is in effect, and I have mixed feelings on this, because on the one hand, I am a very pro-free speech person. If it was up to me, I would have as little restrictions as possible. Now, when I say free speech, I'm talking about the philosophy of free speech, not the legal definition. Get back over to this lane. As we all know, the legal definition in the U.S. is that Congress can't make any laws that violate free speech. Private companies can determine what they allow on their platforms and what they don't. So in that regard, YouTube is well within their rights to say that they can ban you for any reason that they want. Pretty much. There are certain legal restrictions, like they can't violate the Civil Rights Act and things like that. But you know, that aside, YouTube gets to determine what they allow or don't allow on their platform. So from that side, you know, I support YouTube doing whatever they want in that sense. But philosophically, I'm of the opinion that speech is always better when it's free. And that does mean that certain people will say things that are offensive, and certain people will bully other people, and that's just the reality of the world we live in. And the question is, do we want to permit that or not? Again, YouTube's in charge of YouTube, so YouTube can do whatever they want. But in our culture, I think we have to allow the ability of people to be mean to other people. And one of the things about it is, when you talk about offensive speech, offense is really taken, it's not given. So if you take offense at something, you find it offensive, then that's really saying something about the person who's hearing it more so than the person saying it. Because speech doesn't hurt anybody unless you let it hurt you, right? So if you ignore somebody, then what they say doesn't hurt. One of the best descriptions I ever heard to describe that, I think, is the old saying, nobody can look down on you unless you look up to them. And so if you get offended by somebody, you're tacitly putting them in charge over your life. And I don't think that's a good thing. That's my opinion here. My opinion is my opinion. You can feel free to accept or reject it. It won't hurt my feelings. And see, that's the thing. You can say whatever you want about me or to me, and it's water off a duck's back. It's if I don't even know who you are, which in the world of the internet, I don't know who virtually anybody is online. If I don't know you, your opinion of me isn't going to affect my life, and I'm not going to give you that power over me. So that's my take on it. That said, YouTube is making their decision on restricting what they consider to be harassment. Again, that's their right as a publisher. They like to say they're a platform, but they are definitely a publisher of content. I think that legally they're going to run into some issues because of that. And let me get off this exit really quick here. In any case, as I was saying, I think that they will eventually run into some issues because of trying to walk that line between being a platform and being a publisher. It's going to cause some problems for them, I anticipate. But again, from my philosophical perspective, they can do what they want. They are not the government. They can put in restrictions on what they permit on their website and what they don't. But that does open them up to potential legal challenges when something is on their website that other people might consider defamation, actually illegal materials. Then it can open up YouTube to being sued for that. So that's my take on it, and hopefully that was boring enough that any kids who are watching will realize, yeah, I don't really want to be watching this. Going down a freeway with somebody who talks about philosophy and politics and stuff. So, maybe to make it a little more kid-friendly, pull my finger! I'm not really going to do that. Okay, back to the game though. We're getting closer to where I can turn off, head on over to the Avalanche Steel and get ourselves a job. So, made it all the way back to Salt Lake City. Again, I don't know where these accents come from. They just come out of my mouth sometimes. And the less realistic they sound, the better it is for everybody involved. Yeah, after just talking about YouTube harassment policies, that probably is going to run into some kind of violation somewhere along the line. Am I really maligning somebody by making a fake accent? Who knows these days? And let's look to there. And now we go forth. And you guys probably will recognize this if you've been following the playlist and watching all the others, the videos that I put up. But this is where we made our first drop-off for our steel. It's Avalanche Steel, sorry. First drop-off at the very beginning of the game. As we drove right up to there. We were at this intersection right ahead of us. Only we were coming from the left side and turned in. So we've come full circle. And once we arrive, we can pick a job from the jobs that are only available at this location. So rather than picking a job in advance, which could be from several different places, I'm just going to see what's available here by driving straight to it. Because I want to take a job from this location. Come in so we can turn. So I might as well just come straight here. And there goes the loan payment. And as you can see now, I am down So I paid $5,788 and down to $7,361. And really quick, that is because this $100,000 loan that I took, as you can see, doesn't have anything applied to it yet, because you do get that grace period for the first day. The next one's going to cost $7,602, and as you can see, I have $7,361. So I actually don't have enough money to pay the interest on my loan yet, which is part of why I'm going to do this job. That said, my other drivers, my two other drivers, are going to be earning money as well, so that will also help. But let's see what we've got available from here. So we're at this location. We can go to either Seattle or Bellingham. Those are both really, really long. How long is this? That's 1,000 miles. That's all the way up to the top of Washington. So as much as I would like to take it, I'm not going to do that one on this particular one, this particular episode. So looks like we get to go in and see what freight markets are available. This is the one problem when you do this sort of thing, you know, recording what you're trying to do. Now I know I haven't taken anything from this V company, and so we can go to Vernal, which you've already been to, or Elko. I probably would rather go to Elko, even though it's out of state, if I was going to pick one of those. Let's see what else is available though. I think we've got the Sell Goods and Coastline Mining. Wahlberg we haven't done yet. That goes to Oregon. And all of these, just looking at these, are a pretty long distance one. So everything is starting to get pretty long. I thought that I still had my setting. I'm going to there really quick. I thought I still had the settings for selecting more shorter ones. Yeah, preferred job length is shorter. So I was hoping that I could get closer before starting to do the long distance one. So because of the limitations that I've got on this, I am going to go ahead and take this one from here to Elko and just jump in and do that. So I'll have to do a quick turnaround. Yeah, usually I've gotten really short trips while coming straight to the company, and because I'm recording it, that's why it's decided to mess with me. But that's the story of life. You roll with the punches, you deal with what you get, and you just go from there. I am pretty much an optimist, which is interesting because I'm also a cynic. So I'm a cynical optimist. And maybe it's more that I'm just completely sarcastic about everything. But I really do actually have a fairly positive outlook on life, which is why I keep getting taken advantage of and why I keep getting kicked in the face by people who say that they're my friends, things like that. One of these days you'd think I would learn. Actually, if you know me at all, you'd think I'd never learn, and that's more realistic. So, again, I'm fine with the self-deprecating humor. I figure if I don't make fun of myself, everybody else is going to, so might as well jump in first. And that's why, you know, the new harassment policy doesn't bother me any. I harass myself, not other people. So, you know, when you really boil it down, that's all that really matters, is, you know, who's the victim if you are assaulting yourself. That sounds like it might be some kind of Japanese anime movie or something, but, you know, whatever. The point still stands. On this channel, I can make this promise because I know who I am. I know what I'm like. Let's get over this thing. I have no intention on ever insulting or calling out another YouTuber. So, you know, like I said, free speech, I'm all for it. But from a tactical level, if I'm trying to argue with somebody, I'm not going to be insulting them. If my intention to argue is to convince somebody, you know, the old school arguing, I thought this lane was gonna end, but I guess it doesn't. I need to turn off here anyway. Anyway, so as I was saying, if my intention is to convince somebody that I'm correct, insulting them is the last thing in the world that's going to be productive. So why bother doing it? And if I just want to make fun of somebody, then that's pretty stupid. Like, why would I want to do that? You know, I get that some people do. Let's see, that light's changing. But, you know, that's not me, and that's not what this channel is going to be. And I have empathy. I see how it hurts other people. I felt it myself. I don't want to add to it. So, you know, I look at YouTube's harassment policies. I think that they are very vaguely written, and that's problematic. But I also know that I will have no real risk of falling into danger by disobeying them, breaking those rules. It's just not the kind of stuff that I am. It's not what I do. Let me see. Do I have my lights on? I do. Okay. So that aside, let's go ahead and come on down. I'm looking over at the clock here. And I think that if I take this job, then it might make this video a bit too long. So I might go ahead and cut it as soon as I take the job, and then we'll come back in our next episode. I've been uploading these every other day, so this one will be out on Saturday. So I think maybe I'll actually take the job for Monday's episode later, and leave this one a little bit shorter. Oh, why am I going so slow? I can make this light. Hopefully don't get a red light. There we go. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and do that. And thanks for listening to my rambling. Hopefully there's some benefit in there for at least somebody in this universe. At the very least, I hope that you guys realize that you don't have to be an insult comic to have videos on YouTube. You don't have to argue with somebody to get followers, things like that. You can choose to take the higher road. So that said, let me go ahead, and the job that I was going to take is actually already expired. So we can go to Vernal, Utah. I want to get this going before I forget and ruin another trip. I should have paid attention to the expiration time when I was looking at everything else earlier. Let me go ahead and get this hooked up, and then I will stop the game at that point. And the final thing that I will say when it comes to what I'm doing for my content, I am just one person, and I'm a person with an opinion. You are also a person, and you have an opinion, and you should do whatever you want to do. And there'll be consequences for what you choose to do. If you choose to be a jerk, you might find that people don't like you. You might find that you run afoul of YouTube's arbitrary regulations that don't really make sense. That stuff just happens. If you tend to be a good person, that will happen less likely. So, with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and end the episode here. You guys have a good one.